Welcome to The Disappearing Mind, a unique podcast helping you find clarity and support along your dementia journey. Now, join National Dementia Trainer and Coach Dawn Platt for an all-new episode.
When someone is labeled, do we stop seeing who they truly are? In this episode, we challenge the idea that a diagnosis does not define identity. A diagnosis can change a lot, but it doesn't erase a lifetime of wisdom, passions, and identity. In this episode, we look beyond the label to see the person who still very much is here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's Dawn, your host for The Disappearing Mind. Today, I want to pause and reflect on something deeply personal to me. Over the years, I've had the privilege of walking alongside some of the most incredible people, individuals, and families navigating the dementia journey with courage, grace, and love. Each one has touched my life in a very unique way. I've made it my purpose not just to support them, but to experience the wonder of who they are, their stories, their laughter, their moments of joy, even in the midst of challenge. These relationships have been a gift, shaping how I see life, connection, and humanity. So today on Still Me, I want to honor those amazing souls and their families. I am so grateful for the privilege of knowing them, learning from them, and being reminded that even through dementia, the essence of who we are, our spirit, remains. Thank you for joining me. In today's episode, all about identity, who we are beyond the labels, beyond the diagnosis, and beyond what others think we've lost. We continue to address stigma, shed light on the truth, and hopefully bring a fresh perspective on the dementia journey. When someone receives a dementia diagnosis, it's easy for the world around them to start seeing only the label. But here's the truth. The diagnosis is part of the story, not the whole story. The person's history, intellect, humor, talents, and passions don't just disappear overnight. Today, we're talking about what it means to say, I'm still me. Here's the power and the problem with labels. Labels can help us find the right care, support, and even resources. But they can also shrink a person down to just one aspect of who they are. When someone is labeled a dementia patient or Alzheimer's, people may unintentionally stop speaking directly to them, stop asking their opinion, or stop seeing their unique personality. The danger of this, the label can overshadow the person. But the intellect and the identity that the person has built over decades, their education, skills, values, and life story still exist. They may need different ways to express them, but they haven't vanished. Let's talk a little bit about the intellect and how it lives on. This is really important as we see people, and especially people walking the dementia journey. Cognitive changes do not erase all knowledge or abilities. Let's make that clear. Many people with dementia still recall music, prayers, poetry, or languages they learned long ago, and it stays with them a very long time. Many people still engage in meaningful conversations when given time and patience. People still problem solve, make decisions, and offer wisdom in certain areas of life. I've seen artists who still paint, engineers who still tinker, gardeners who still nurture their plants, and teachers who still love explaining things, even years after their diagnosis. When we approach people as if they're still intellectually capable, instead of assuming they're not, we often discover more than we expected. Identity beyond the diagnosis. Identity is built from our life experiences, our families, careers, passions, and beliefs. A diagnosis does not in any way wipe those away. I remember speaking with a woman named Grace, who was a retired nurse of many years. Even as her dementia progressed, she would instinctively comfort others, adjust a blanket for someone, or remind a caregiver to wash your hands. Nursing was part of who she was and still is. Our role as friends, family members, or caregivers is to honor identity. Use the person's name often. Remind them of their role in your life. Bring pieces of their history into the present. This is a very valuable way to honor and connect. There are many practical ways to see the person first, if you will just take a moment to do so and not believe the myth that all of that is erased with a dementia diagnosis. Here are a few ways that we can keep intellect and identity at the front and center. We want to engage in familiar topics. Talk about things that are familiar to them, like their favorite sports team, books, or past travels that they have engaged in and have loved. Encourage decision-making. Offer them choices of what to wear, what to eat, where to sit. There's lots of choices that we can offer and allow them to be a part of making choices for themselves. Honor their skills. Invite them to share their favorite recipe or family recipe, to play an instrument that they're probably very proficient at, or to help with a project, and validate their opinions. When you ask a question, truly listen to what they have to say, even if the answer takes time, takes moments for them to express. These moments tell the person, I see you, I hear you, and I still value you. You know, when you strip away the medical terminology and the stigma from dementia, what's left is a human being with a lifetime of wisdom, stories, and love. A diagnosis may change how a person moves through the world, but it doesn't take away their humanity, their intellect, or their identity. So next time you're with someone living with dementia, remember to look beyond the label. They're still an artist, a father, a mother, a best friend, a storyteller. They are still themselves. As we wrap up today's episode of Still Me, I find myself circling back to the people who inspired this conversation in the first place, the families, the caregivers, and the remarkable individuals living with dementia who have left me to share their story. Let me be a part of their life and their journey. Their lives remain and their stories remain. Again and again, I'm reminded that dementia may change the path that we walk, but it does not take away the essence of who we are. The laughter, the love, the connection, those remain. I'm grateful for the privilege of witnessing those moments with so many people and carrying their stories forward. That's the passion that you hear in me, is the people that I have had the privilege and the opportunity to meet over the years and their families. My hope is that each one of us continues to see the wonder in one another, even in the hardest days. And never forget that at the heart of it all, we're still ourselves, still me. And friends, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to the Disappearing Mind podcast. Every time you share, it reaches someone just like you, someone walking this same journey. We're in it together, and I'm so thankful that you're here listening to the podcast. Until next time, this is Dawn Platt. Make it a memorable day.
Thank you for joining us for the Disappearing Mind podcast. We hope it's helped you find clarity and support along your journey. Be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode, visit our website to suggest future topics, and share the podcast with friends and family.